Yo, 2022 was like the happiest year of my whole life. I'm not even gonna lie to you right now. 2022 got off to kind of a weird start, if I'm being honest. I wasn't making a lot of art. I was kind of not in the best place mentally. January, I did nothing, I'm pretty sure. No, I might have done one. No, I'm pretty sure I did nothing. And then February was a turning point. I did a drawing of Dipper from Gravity Falls. It turned out exactly how I wanted it to, and in that moment I was like, holy shit, you know, if 16, 17-year-old Nick saw this, she would freak out and save it to her phone and save it as her like lock screen on her phone. I was like, wow, I made something that I'm really proud of, and I hadn't felt that feeling in such a long time. So that was kind of the beginning of all the goodness that 2022 had to offer. I have my physical sketchbook to go through and my digital sketchbook to go through. This is it, my physical sketchbook. I decorated it. And then my digital sketchbook is my iPad. It's not an iPad Pro. It was the cheapest option I could find at the one Apple store we have here in Barbados, the iShop. I don't know what kind it is, I'm sorry. And then I have a first generation pencil. So I actually started this book in October last year. Not seeing much. Skip forward into February. I was really struggling mentally. I did this. This is watercolor and colored pencils. Yeah, I tried my best. February was kind of sucky up until I did that Dipper drawing, and that kind of changed everything. But I didn't do a lot of art after that either. I like did it and I was like, yes, this is a very nice feel. I'm gonna sit in this feel and do nothing else for a while. This is another watercolor painting I did right before we caught COVID. This was also kind of the end of my BTS art era. If you've been following me for a while, or if you've been my friend for a while, you knew that my BTS phase lasted a couple of years. I didn't do a whole heap of BTS art. Creating BTS fan art was kind of hard at that time because I was relying a lot on external feedback to motivate me to draw more, which is not the right way to go, but you live and you learn. This piece that I did, which was the last real one that I did, I would say, and I'm pretty happy with it. It's JK doing a Black Swan performance. And now we reached on the 3rd and, hey? April? No. Yes, April. April and May. On the 3rd of April, I went to go and see Sonic the Hedgehog 2 in cinemas. And then I went back on the 1st of May, 2022 to see Sonic the Hedgehog 2 in cinemas. And I was kind of swept off my feet. I just love these characters so much, okay? And if there was one thing that I needed to drag me into a brand new fandom when I needed it really badly, it was a goofy movie. You know, a fun, family fun, cute movie with some very lovable characters that I recognized from my childhood, and that was it. That got me. This is one of my first movie Sonic doodles I did in here. I also made outfits based off of Sonic characters. You can kind of guess who's who. The Amy one, I actually have that entire outfit right now. After I watched the second Sonic movie, I watched all of Sonic Boom, and I rewatched a bunch of old Let's Plays that I used to watch on YouTube of Sonic games, because while I haven't played a lot, I've watched quite a lot of Let's Plays, which I know isn't the same thing, but at least I'm not like completely in the dark. But because of that reason, me not playing a whole lot of Sonic games, but knowing of the existence of lots of Sonic games, is how I came up with my username Fake Sonic Fan, because I used to joke in the beginning like, oh, I'm such a fake fan, I don't know XYZ, or I'm such a fake fan, I haven't played XYZ, which is, now it's just funny and sentimental because I've played more Sonic games since then, and I plan on playing much more, and I'm really enjoying it. I will say, out of what I've played so far, Sonic Frontiers is still my favorite. Almost every single piece I made from May onwards is Sonic related. Excluding these two paintings, digital paintings of Wirt from Over the Garden Wall and Lumpy Space Princess from Adventure Time, which I love those two very, very much, and I really want to sell prints of them, but I don't know who's gonna buy that shit, honestly. I tried drawing Shadow, which was like my first successful attempt at drawing a Sonic character in the Sonic style, because before then I was trying to make my own style and I was really struggling trying to interpret references of Sonic characters, whether they're screenshots from the video games or referencing existing official Sonic art. I was really having trouble interpreting it, and I'll put up a couple pieces that I did in the beginning from my digital sketchbook. But for this one, I straight up just like drew a reference. Like I didn't interpret it, I just drew what I saw, and I was like, oh, I can do it. Okay, thank God. Which is where I kind of should have started, since I'm so unfamiliar with the proportions. That's the next thing. I've never drawn anything like Sonic before. Nothing. You know, I've done lots of cartoons in my life. I grew up drawing loads and loads of fan art of people, and I stuck to specific proportions, and you know, a lot of my knowledge of drawing people is based on my still life classes and whatnot. But this, yeah, that ground knowledge is good, but to to stylize something to this extent is very difficult. And it's not that I didn't know that before, I did know that before, but this is just a message to other people who might be shitting on very stylized ways of drawing. It's more difficult than you think, especially if you're used to drawing in a specific way. So give people a break. Be nice. A page of yellow. Piss! My squeaky gaming chair. Here's a bunch of bills, lots of butts and supersonic, and Rouge. Here's Rouge. Here's some ugly Sonic drawings, which I'm still kind of attached to. I want to redo them really bad, but we'll see. More ugly Sonics and messy sketches. This is a sketchbook for a reason, which is why it's so musty. Here's a page of Armin's. I sat down with my best friend for, I think, 3 days and watched all of Attack on Titan with her. Start to finish. And that includes the episodes that I hadn't seen before, so we reached a point where we were both watching it experiencing it for the first time, and it was amazing. I wish I could go back in time. That was so hype. How come this is from June, but I know this isn't from June. Here's some Amy's, using IDW screenshots as reference, because in June is when I started reading the IDW comics, which I would highly recommend to anyone who loves Sonic. I think they're so well written, and I love the characters and all the character interactions. More Rouges. I've gotten a lot better at drawing her. Understanding her proportions is still kind of hard to me, but oh well. I'm very proud of it. I drew this, and now I have the entire outfit. Let's go, let's go. I love it so much. I got my Agent Stone pin over here, and the back has Sonic on it. Too hot to wear in this country, but it's nice to have in my office. So the sketchbook gets really sketchy from here. I really only use this to jot down quick ideas if my iPad was dead. Some pencil sketches. I wanted to make sure I could still draw a person. And that is basic. Oh, and this, which I'm pretty happy with. OC doodles. I came up with a Sonic OC, and I was trying to figure out color schemes. I like her a lot. Her name is Phoebe, and I just changed her design yesterday, slightly. So yeah, that is my sketchbook for 2022. Now we move on to the big boys. Okay, May 18th, 2022. My digital sketchbook. I tried drawing Amy for the first time. Put this next to my most recent Amy drawing of like just Amy by herself. It's a little bit scary, I know. Like just slightly a little bit scary. I wanted to draw her in like a movie thing, but again, I was like, I don't know what these proportions are. I can't understand how big I should be drawing their hands. How big is too big? Does that look ridiculous? How big is the shoes? What big size is it? Next, I tried to draw movie Sonic and Amy in like this is a screenshot from Sonic Boom, in a movie style, which again, I was like, I don't understand how their eyeballs work. All this stuff that just really rang home how practice makes you get better. I don't want to say practice makes perfect because my drawings right now are by no means perfect. I post shit all the time that has major mistakes in it and I'm like, man, fuck it, I'm just having fun. I recently redrew this as well. This is Amy. This is one of my first proper drawings of her. I used a human being as reference and I managed to interpret that in Sonic proportions, which I was very, very excited about. When I redrew this, I made them into stickers because I was so happy with them. I have one here. Here she is, Ames. She and Sonic are my favorite Sonic characters, honestly. I love her a lot. So, of course, she was gonna be the first piece of fan art I make into a sticker. The difference between the redraw and this is minor details, but it was things that, like, I couldn't unsee. And I was experiencing a whole new level of motivation. I have never been this motivated to make art, ever. I'm telling you, this past year has been the happiest year of my life. I've just never had this kind of motivation to make art, and art has never, ever, ever, ever made me this happy. It's been a while since I've been able to wake up, think of an idea, and been like, oh, Jesus, I have to draw this right now. Like, before it gets out of my brain, like, I need to draw this. It's like so exciting, and I'm excited to draw. And then I don't think I've ever had this kind of experience where I've made art pieces where I genuinely love them, and I'm drawing them because I want to see it. And I'm hoping that shows through in them. Most of the stuff I draw, I'm doing it because I'm being selfish and I want to see it. My monkey brain is firing off all the good chemicals. Drawing a human again. Here is Mikasa with her beautiful haircut. I need y'all to stop being mean to her. Her haircut is beautiful. Rouge. This doesn't have Sonic proportions, but I'm still pretty happy with it. I may redraw it sometime with Sonic proportions and see how it does. But for now, I'm mostly just happy with the coloring. These are all my favorite colors all in one thing. I was really obsessed with Sonic Boom, okay. So I was practicing doing lots of screenshot redraws. This one, I just tried to draw exactly what I saw in front of me, and I'm not really too happy with it, but I'm happy with the coloring and the vibe that it has, and of course this is like my favorite ship ever, so I just like looking at them. Scrolling forward, this is one of my favorite Rouge drawings I've ever done. It's really messy because I just did it with using one brush in Procreate, but I don't know. She's just so pretty. What am I supposed to say? She's just pretty. I want to draw a pretty lady. Then, with all the excitement of Frontiers coming out and the new trailers, we were getting the cinematic trailers especially, we were all interpreting it differently. All the artists were doing different fan arts, like trying to predict what was going to happen. And I did this drawing, which I'm very happy with. This has since been edited. I did add in little extras to make it more accurate to the game. But I was like so pleased with myself when I played Frontiers, and I was like, oh shit, my drawing actually happened. I'm not the only person to have drawn something like this, so I'm not saying like, oh, I'm the one, I predicted it, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm sure everyone who did stuff like this was like, yeah, this feels nice. So yeah, I edited it to be more accurate to the game, and I might print stickers of this, I'm not too sure yet, or just do prints of it. I'm honestly, I don't know how to sell my art in a physical form. Now we're into October, and I was like, let me draw something scary. You know what's a good game? Sonic Unleashed. So, yeah, in between watching the Let's Play of it again that I used to watch, I've actually played a little bit of Unleashed, because that was the second Sonic game that me and my brother had after Heroes. So I did play a bit of that, so it's not like I was completely unfamiliar. So yeah, Werehog, Sonic. I'm very proud of this. I really want to print this at a huge scale and stick it in my office. And it's just a screenshot redraw. But for some reason my little heart is like, ooh, shiny, lightning, intense facial expression, furry stuff. I never draw fur, so this is like very exciting to me. More Sonic Amy stuff. And then some Frontiers kind of shippy, subtle shippy art. Very pleased with this as well. I kind of want to redraw Amy though, or at least change the color of the lines, because I don't really do line work in black anymore. Not unless it's appropriate for that specific piece, but for the most part, I will make sure the lines are just a darker color of the fill color. A bunch of drawings of Surge. I'm really happy with these as well. I think that they're messy. I wasn't going to leave them messy like this, but I figured she's kind of chaotic. Understatement of the century. So I thought the chaotic line work kind of fits with that. And with this, I shaded the background and shifted it a bit so it kind of looks like a printing error. This drawing of Amy, this is what made me realize that it actually has pushed me so far outside of my comfort zone. I touched on this earlier with struggling with the proportions of Sonic characters, but it's also pushed me in another area, and that's creating backgrounds and experimenting with lighting again. I feel like I had fallen out of love with that kind of experimentation aspect of art making, and this dragged me back into it. I mean, with every piece I make, I'm gonna try out something just a little bit different, which in the past used to, me wanting to do that used to distress me a bit, because I wanted to have a distinctive style so bad. And I was really terrified that I wouldn't be remembered at all if I didn't have a consistent style. Now that hasn't popped into my mind. That hasn't popped into my mind at all. I'm just way too swept up in the excitement of trying something new every time. So yeah, my Sonic drawings look a bit different. Each drawing looks a little bit different, but it doesn't matter to me. What can I say? It does not fucking matter. So with this, I tried some overhead kind of backlit harsh lighting as if the sun was kind of behind you. Which in reality would look kind of musty, but in this, you're an artist, so you can take artistic liberties. You can lighten the shadows as much as you want without it looking a bit weird. So that's what I tried. This is the next one, a Sonic hug.
I've been away in every state line. Dying of May, get lost as a lifetime. Trying to shake that it's all finding a way out of yours in the lifetime.
Which is one of the hardest things I've ever had to draw, because they have really big heads and small bodies, so you kind of have to take artistic liberties and shuffle things around a bit. I spent a lot of time sketching this out. I'll put it up on the screen. Shifting things around, flipping it, trying to figure out how this looks, how to get this to look normal, and it came out exactly how I wanted it to. It emits the feeling that I really want it to, and I drew this because I was like, what if in Frontiers we get a hug at the end? What would the characters feel like after being separated for such a long time? And so yeah, this is the result of that thought. Staying on the Frontiers train of thought, once I finished the game, I was like, Jesus Christ, I have so many things that I need to draw from this. This was one of them. I kind of wish that moment in the game didn't wrap up so suddenly, but I'm still really pleased that we got it in the first place. It was very emotional. Amy, I wanted to draw her angry. I thought to myself, I don't see Amy angry enough in media. I wanted to draw her angry. So here she is, really angry. On that note, I listen to music while I draw most of the time, or I have a song stuck in my head when I draw a lot of the time. So for this one, it was Shut the Fuck Up by Rina Sawayama. I listen to songs and then I try to convey the emotion that that song has as well, because it matches up with the emotions that I'm feeling. It's this whole thing. So you can you can look at my art and think, I wonder what song she used for this one, because there's always going to be one. Or an audio, because while I'm on that note, I drew this. This is one of my favorite drawings of supersonic that I've ever done. I did use a reference heavily for this, but I wanted to practice coloring more than anything. So that's the point of this piece, and also because I wanted to draw him. That's the other point. I just wanted to. This in itself is the My Squeaky Gaming Chair YouTube video.
My squeaky gaming chair. I'm sorry, what? My gaming chair won't stop squeaking. You see? It keeps on squeaking every time I bend.
So every time I see this, my brain just goes, my squeaky gaming chair. This drawing of Amy is the one that I am most proud of. I am so proud of this. I want all my Sonic art pieces to look like this. I don't know, man. I'll fix it out. Oh, I'll sort out. This is my favorite drawing of Amy ever. I wish I could make this into a sticker, but it's so seasonal, I don't think people would buy it. I would be making a sticker of this for myself, not to sell it. Here's me attempting to draw Rouge again with the correct proportions. Hopefully, at least I think so. I'll probably look back on this in 2 months and be like, oh girl, you tried your best. Rouge again, and Shadow, because I don't draw Shadow a lot. I find his quills extremely difficult to draw. He's shaped like a starfish, but drawing a starfish from like a 3/4 view sucks. New Year's Kiss. That one was so fun. Again, experimenting with lighting. I tried doing lineless art. I know it has problems, but I'm really happy with it. This was so fun to draw. Oh my goodness. This is my Sonic OC. Her name is Phoebe, and this is Gracie, the butterfly. I had such a wonderful time coloring her character in particular, because I don't know what it is about yellow characters. They're just so pretty, and it was a total joy to do something this colorful. Here's another Christmas themed one. I really wish I made his line art a little bit darker in color, because I think it's hard to see from far away. So yeah, Tangle and Whisper for New Year's, and that was my first piece of 2023. So with that ends my digital sketchbook. I'm very pleased with all the art that I made this year. So pleased. And that's not even going into some of the art that I did for my professional job, which is, you know, illustrator, photographer, video editor. I did some illustration work last year that I'm very proud of, namely the Perkins & Sons commission. I'm really pleased with that, and it's so fun to see your work on a product. I'm so honored that I can be involved with that, you know? And the gin tastes really good. I'm sitting back down to show you guys the traditional work that I did this year. Watercolor, which is my specialty. I did so many major projects in university using watercolor. I grew up using watercolor. It's like it was my go-to medium for a very long time. Some purple flowers, they're just from my bush outside. I can see them through the window. There's some things I would change about this. Like, I wish I didn't use a yellow mixed with green to shade the inside of these. I think it would have been more impactful if I didn't use any shading for the inside of the flower whatsoever. And sticking them on the paper like this was actually because I made a mistake. And then it was so effective that I did that with the rest of my flower paintings. I drew the stem. I don't know the technical terms. I drew the stem of the flowers, and they turned out looking so muddy, and it was ruining the rest of the color scheme. It was like kind of dragging down the purple. I was like, let me just cut them off, cut the whole damn thing out and stick it on some new paper, and then people will never know. And then here is a Hong Kong orchid, which I have in my yard as well, which was in bloom a couple months before I did this painting. And then I did two kind of moody depression drawings, because when I was having a hard time. I did not put the dates on these, just the year, which is kind of sucky. I did this one first, which you can hold at any orientation. I think depending on how you hold it, you can interpret it differently, but it is to do with mental illness, so interpret that how you will. I mean, if you want to give me an analysis in the comments, please do. I'd love to hear what you think of this in particular. And then this one, which I'm very proud of. These are my eyeballs. I was bawling my eyes out when I drew this, I'm gonna be honest, but I'm very pleased with it. I love painting skin. I think skin has so many different colors in it that people don't realize, that non-artists don't realize, I should say. And it's fun to exaggerate those. But even so, I think if you stood far enough away from this, you might not notice that there's like purple and green and yellow in here. And then to kind of bump it up a little bit, I have some very shiny, glossy Mod Podge. I thought, what if I just like painted the eyeballs and some tears to add an extra little effect and to make it a bit more emotive. So that's what I did, and now it's one of my favorite watercolor pieces I've ever done. That is all the art that I made in 2022. Most of it anyway. I didn't want to go into every single piece because from my digital sketchbook alone, I made 93 pieces, which brings up one of my New Year's resolutions for 2023. I want to make 100 pieces of Sonic art. I'm sure I can do it. If I reach 100 pieces, I'll be very happy. I'm really excited to see what 2023 brings. I've just been soaking in all the happy feelings and all the motivation and inspiration I've been getting these past, 9 months or so. It's been life-changing, and I know that those kinds of feelings don't last forever, so I'm milking it. I'm trying to do as much as I can before it runs out. There's so much goodness planned for this year. It's bound to incite some kind of inspiration in me to keep on going, creating art that I like and I enjoy. Yeah, that's it. Let's go 2023. Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! I forgot to put this in the video, but I'm gonna rank my top 5 favorite pieces from last year. In no particular order. Dipper, the warehouse drawing, the Frontiers Corruption drawing, that shiny Amy drawing that I like so much, and the snowy Amy outfit drawing. Those are my top 5. I cannot wait to do more stuff this year.